Welcome back to X-Men Legends 2. For those of you who don't remember the last video, we are right at the boss fight for Abyss, which means I am going to make a quick team change. I'm going to have Iceman on hand for pretty much every boss fight for a very specific reason. Right now, though, everybody needs to level up, so going to put points into Flamethrower because I'm not going to control Sunfire most of the fight, and when I'm not in control of him, usually the CPU tends to get more out of the Flamethrower move than I do. Gambit, basically keeping him level across the board, throwing the Industrial Waistband on Wolverine so he at least has something. He does have specific armor for himself, but I'm not a high enough level to equip it yet. Points into Claw Flurry. Iceman already has the Slow Beam maxed out, and going to put some extra points into Ice Combat, and off we go. Now, you have to wait for this door to open before you can actually get to the area where the boss fight occurs. And naturally, there are going to be some extra enemies that descend into the area from somewhere and try to make life difficult for you. Unfortunately, they trickle in, so you can't really get overwhelmed by them. And this is really just kind of a time waster. Like, the worst thing that'll happen is you might lose a little health, but there have been enough health drops at this point that even if you do like mess up an encounter and take more damage than you'd like, you would still be able to pretty easily use health packs, backtrack to get some more, and then just move straight to the boss fight. And that is what we're doing right now. Now, there was an extraction point right there, but for some reason there's also an extraction point there. This one doesn't let you save your game though, it's just for changing your team. So, don't really understand the point of that. Anyway, here's Abyss.
This is the best Magneto could do? Team up with the X-Men? Oh, forgive me, but even you have to admit, it's laughable.
We're taking Genosha back, Abyss.
If only Apocalypse were here to see how brave you are in the face of certain death.
Where is Apocalypse?
He found what he was looking for, so he left.
Harmonic DNA.
Oh my, you have been busy. Yes, he found a mutant with harmonic DNA. And the funny thing is, of all the mutants in Genosha, only Quicksilver had it.
But Quicksilver is Magneto's son.
Oh, indeed he is. But right now, you have bigger concerns, namely, me.
Now the Abyss fight is, well, for this part, really straightforward. You just run down and try to smack the crap out of him. Now there are a couple of things that complicate it. There's this move, for example, which he will do a lot. He just grabs everyone, tosses them in the air, and then they fly around and just slam into the ground. Although, if you've noticed, that move doesn't do any damage. It's basically just a time waster. And something else he does is he has that ability to like turn parts of him into tendrils, so he kind of does the like arms punches. That's the only way I can describe it. I know this is like way before ARMS happened, but it looks so similar I can't not think that. And he does the stretchy arm attack at a very regular interval, so what you can do is pick someone who has a long distance or projectile move, hang back because he's probably going to aggro on you anyway, and just do your ranged attack, move to the side, do your ranged attack, move to the side, and he usually won't be able to do much, if any, damage to you. Even better, if your CPUs cooperate, which I know that's asking a lot for this game, you can kind of lead him in one way where his attacks will not end up damaging your CPU teammates. Obviously, this is the kind of thing that works best if you have like other people playing with you, but if you don't, this is a pretty suitable substitution. I love that. That one card from Gambit hit him and he still shrieked. Hold on, I'm gonna isolate that. Now that, I don't think that actually damages him, but it's funny when it happens regardless. Now, there are a bunch of these little containers laying around, and I am a hoarder, so of course, I went back and got all of them for those delicious, delicious tech bits. But you are supposed to just go to this next room, and then...
Abyss is on that dirigible, and we're not about to let him get away. Quickly, let's hop on.
Alright, now you have 1 minute in which to hop on the dirigible. And because they are giving that absurd an amount of time, I figured, well, I'm just going to break all the containers. Now, I should note, it is in fact possible to break all of these containers and then hop on the dirigible, even if you're just walking around like I am. Obviously, this would be faster to do with having someone just fly to each of the containers, or like use a mutant power to destroy a bunch of them at once instead of punching them individually the way I am. I will note, however, that there are two different things that you can use to gauge like when to hop on and when not to. One is the dirigible itself, the other is the timer in the lower right. The timer in the lower right is the thing that matters, because as you're about to see, you can hop on the dirigible in, like, before it pulls away, and you'll still fail. It'll still say Abyss escaped, even though you're standing on the dirigible. Now, I'm not going to show you the entire process of breaking all the boxes again. In fact, I'm just getting enough to get a couple of health refills, and then jumping straight on the dirigible.
Abyss is on this ship, but how do we get to him?
You fools certainly are determined to get yourselves killed. Well then, come along, and I'll try to accommodate you.
Now, this is going to look a little strange, because it happens very quickly, but yeah, my fight lasted a few seconds, and then he jumped to another blimp. So I think what's supposed to happen is, in the initial fight, you get him down to like 50% and he runs away, and then here you get him down to 25% and he runs away. But my initial fight got him down to 25% already, so that other fight only lasted a few seconds. Now for this, he jumps to another blimp and you're supposed to destroy the blimp itself. He's throwing bombs to try and take out your dirigible, and you just take one of your characters and throw the blimp back at him. Now he can still reach across and punch you from here, and there are enemies that will spawn, but they're really low-level mobs, so you can just let the CPU take care of that. Now he's going to jump back over. Again, we're going to have another ridiculously short fight before he does this. Again, I think that was supposed to be longer, but weird health shenanigans happened.
Talk about weird. We're trapped inside Abyss in some type of alternate dimension. But how do we get out of here? This dimension seems to be comprised of 2 floors, and the only way to shift between floors is by using that wormhole there. Maybe we can use those bombs to blow up Abyss from the inside out.
The grammar guy in me is going, it should be composed of, not comprised of. You're supposed to just say comprised without of, and then of is for composed. Anyway, this is an incredibly straightforward section. Each of these bombs has an enemy tied to it. You just take out the enemy, hit use on the bomb. Your CPU teammates will likely take care of the enemies, and then you can just walk up to the bombs and push a button, and then you're done. And that is the final phase of the Abyss fight. Somehow it blows up the blimp too. I don't know.
Those bombs not only freed us from that alternate dimension, They knocked out Abyss and disabled the dirigible.
An exemplary job. With Abyss out of the way, the rest of Apocalypse's guards should be no trouble. Once you've finished, return to me at the Sanctuary. Then we can travel to the X-Mansion and begin our search for Polaris. We must discover where Apocalypse is holding her prisoner.
And that is it. That is the first major boss battle of X-Men Legends 2. Lady Deathstrike and all that other stuff, that was basically mini-bosses. There's really no point in wandering around here. There's nothing else to do but just hop in the portal and go back. And once you do, there are some dialogue things that can be cleared up, like this one.
Hey, thanks for saving all those prisoners back in Genosha. Who knows what Apocalypse had in store for them? Things certainly weren't looking too good when I left.
What do you mean?
They had started doing tests on us.
Tests? What kind?
I don't know. Medical stuff. Something to do with DNA.
Why would Apocalypse be running DNA tests on Genoshans?
You got me. But at least we're all safe now. And we owe it all to you. Thanks again, guys. You're the greatest.
And the rest of this is stuff that we have already heard. Same for Sabretooth, so I'm not going to talk to him. However, I am going to talk to the Prof real quick.
That was a most impressive victory over Abyss. He has a reputation as a vicious opponent. Now that Genosha has been freed, we can return to the X-Mansion and formulate a plan to rescue Polaris from Apocalypse. Shall we go now?
No. When you move to the next area, that basically starts Act 2, and I'm not going to do that just yet. I am going to clear up some Danger Room stuff, because we do have the qualifying exam. You can get these out of order. Note the times for the Vibranium Award within 3 minutes. Just remember that number. So yeah, you can get these discs really out of order, and we will in fact be doing a bunch of sophomore tests before some of the freshman tests even become available. But for now, I have a lot of leveling up to do. Let's see, Claw Flurry, and I'm gonna max out the Slow Beam for Iceman because, as you can see, I can make pretty sufficient use of that through most of the major fights in the game.
For a good scrap.
And that will take us into the exam, and guess what we have to do for this? Fight Lady Deathstrike. Remember, 3 minutes is our target. Under 3 minutes to get all of the rewards associated with this Danger Room scenario. So, I'm trying to use the Claw Flurry move a lot. It's kind of difficult to land on a character like Lady Deathstrike who likes to move around a lot. Because there's like a bit of a wind-up to this move, and I eventually do just go back to the regular claw swipes. Either one suffices here, because Wolverine's level 14 at this point, Lady Deathstrike's level 9, most of my characters are in the low teens level-wise, so at this point, this isn't much of a challenge. And when the clock stops, as I land the final hit, this fight took 45 seconds. So we get all of these rewards, and we can move on to the sophomore level, which I do have some things available for, and which I am going to get out of the way really quick. Because, I mean, there's the XP, there's the items, there's the stat bonuses. It's worth going for if you really want to just burn through these whenever you get the chance. Whenever you have a character that's a sufficient enough level to just easily get the Vibranium level. Now I'm going to do this with Rogue because I haven't really used her much at all. And it only seems fair that I finally show her off in some capacity. I was kind of hoping there would be more alternate costumes available right off the bat, but work with what you got. I am going to make sure that she has Smash maxed out, she has 2 levels of Might, Hardened is a good passive ability for defensive purposes, definitely going to have Power Theft, and then just throw some real basic equipment on her. Well, except for those last couple of ones, which are slightly more than basic, but not the, like, special
The
equipment.
training course has loaded. You
So
may
this is for the
commence.
trip move.
Generating opponent.
It's technically useful for some enemies, but you're not going to see me use it a whole lot over the course of just regular gameplay. Maybe outside of 1 or 2 scenarios. So even though you have might maxed out, you still can't break through most of the walls in this area. But that won't stop enemies from trying to path straight toward you through the wall. Pretty much the only good news about that is it makes it easier to track them down. And the game will just keep spawning enemies because the entire point of this is to do X amount of the trip combo. And this is another one that's pretty easy,
Generating an excellent
even
job.
if
You
you're
have
not a
completed
high
all
level,
course objectives.
to get the vibranium gear. And then right after this is the pop-up move. Now, I haven't been using this a lot, but some of the enemies I've encountered have been using this a decent amount. And depending on who you do the pop-up move with,
Good luck.
the animation can be a little different, and for some of them it looks kind of strange. Like, for Rogue, for example, at the tail end of it, when she's coming back down toward the ground,
Nicely done.
it looks like she's throwing a
Generating
kick.
opponent.
She's not. That's just this pirouette type thing she does in midair to prepare for landing.
Generating opponent.
But again, this is one that you could
Well done.
get away with doing at pretty much any level, because the game only cares about you doing the move. It doesn't care about you actually knocking out any of the enemies or doing any sufficient damage.
Generating opponent. An excellent job. You have
And with
completed all
that,
course
that scenario
objectives.
is also done. So, next time on X-Men Legends, we're going to talk to the prof, and we are going to get into Act 2. And, see someone Rogue might know.